Hi, my name is Gretchen Gara. This is my final project for yacht design in 2024. It's called Aquamarine, and I've spent a lot of time on it. So I hope you like it. I'm pretty proud of what I've done. Thank you. My use case is for a 14-meter sailboat designed to teach dinghy sailors and cruisers how to race offshore. It can be double-handed up to a crew of 9. The focus was on options for rigging, control lines with a bunch of different types of sails to teach a whole bunch of different types of stuff. My initial idea was for a slightly smaller boat, 13.5 meters, for inshore day races and nearshore overnights, more optimized for daytime activities than offshore, but it ended up being bigger and more structure, so Cat A. This is my initial interior design. The final ended up very similar to this. I moved things around a little bit, and I need to do some more work on it in the future to move things around a little bit more. I needed more space in a couple of places, and I still need to do that, but it's close to this right now. The boat turned out to be 14 meters long overall, 13 meters on the waterline. It can be raced inshore, but it's not optimized for it. It's more optimized for ocean races, and because it's going to be going offshore, it ended up as ISO Cat A instead of C. So a little beefier. This is how my interior ended up. You can see almost everything is in the same place. I am going to shrink the head and the hanging locker to give myself more storage space for sails up forward and add more bunks aft so that you can sleep on the high side when you're sailing offshore for weight distribution. This is my systems view. The fuel tank is behind the engine, the freshwater tank is on starboard, and the blackwater tank is on port. The blackwater tank will be moving aft to put more weight aft, which is good for downwind sailing, which is mostly what this boat is going to be doing. Even though there are things about the boat that I would like to change, things I'd like to add, I would consider it finished at the moment. I'm happy with how the hydrostatics came out, the hardware layout is good, the interior layout, obviously I didn't change very much, and the rig needs work, but I'm happy with how it went. These are my hydrostatics. I'm happy with how they came out. They are in metric, but you can tell by CP about 5.6 and the displacement to length ratio that it's a pretty sporty boat, which was what I was going for. It also has very good initial stability, which I'm very happy with. This is part of my hardware layout, specifically the cockpit part. I'm happy with how this came out. I modeled a lot of this myself from my head, and did get quite a few things as well from Harkin's website and from other people in class, but overall it came out looking pretty good. This is a view of my interior. You can see 3 of the bunks, the nav station, the galley, part of the head, and where the mast comes through the deck. I wanted to keep this fairly simple. That's how most race boats are, and I think I succeeded at that pretty well. This is how my rig turned out. I'm happy with it overall. It was a lot of work. I did a lot of research to get it correct with the amount of rake and the amount of pre-bend in it, but now I need to go back and recalculate my center of effort and my lead for my boat because of that. There were some things that I struggled with on this boat, modeling in general, things not trimming, things not being solids, and filleting. I had to fillet this corner by hand. The hull shape also I went through like 13 iterations, and as I said previously, the rig took a lot of research to get correct. This is my lines plan for my final hull shape. I'm happy with how it looks, but I struggled with the dimensions a little bit. The CP is a little higher than I want it to be, and the back end needs to be a little wider to be a better downwind boat, but overall it's good. You can see between these two pictures how my rig changed. In the initial, I had a much straighter mast, shorter forestay, and larger main. The second one is a larger headsail and a little bit smaller main, but I think it looks better the way it is. Because of time constraints, of course, there are things that are unfinished. I need to taper the top of the mast, add navigation equipment like a VHF antenna, and sheaves for the halyards, figure out the actual halyards, how many, and all of that, and add a spinnaker pole for the symmetrical spinnaker. There are so many things I want to add to the deck layout, like pad eyes. I need to change the foredeck hatch to a bigger hatch, and a whole bunch of line handling appliances like more blocks and clutches and cars and so many things. It's just, there's a lot. We didn't really get into steering much on this boat. I put in wheels because it needed to have wheels, and I put in a rudder from a previous boat, but I'd like to really design the rudder for this boat and do all of the mechanicals for it as well. I also meant to have a tiller option on this boat, which I also need to design and put in. Even though I consider this boat finished, there are already updates that I'd like to do. Make the head and gear locker smaller, move the crash bulkhead forward, and add a lot of things to the boat to make it a more reasonable, realistic design overall. I also have a wish list of things that I'd like to do to this boat in the future, things that I thought of after I considered the boat finished. They're all very work intensive, so I would not have had time during the span of this project either way, but they'll be fun projects for the future and interesting new design ideas. Thank you.